Welcome back to Kansas City. Today we're going to talk about the greatest accelerator to business that Charlie Munger talked about before he passed away. Charlie was one of the greatest investors of all time. For all of you who are not quite familiar, you've probably heard his partner's name in Warren Buffett. Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett ran Berkshire Hathaway together for absolute years. That partnership was formed starting over a lunch in which two gentlemen, one from Omaha and then Charlie, I believe, was living in California at the time, had lunch, invited both of those guys to a lunch because they believed that they were going to enjoy each other. In the course of that conversation, about 5 hours later, the two gentlemen who brought them together had already left, and Charlie and Warren had continued to talk about business, investments, thought processes, and all of those things for hours and hours. When Charlie sold his company or his share of a company and then moved back to Omaha, and this is as I remember it, he was able to produce a little bit of capital for himself. But he didn't have much to do, and he did really like Warren. So he went to Warren, and on a handshake deal, they put together a partnership that company today is worth over $1 trillion. That partnership lasted 60 years. Those guys worked together on the day in and day out and continually delivered value to their shareholders and to their clients. There's a lot of stories around Berkshire Hathaway about how they've done things beautifully and well. And folks, I'd say that their biggest competitive advantage is trust. It may sound funny. You might think, well, Tom, they've got leverage or they've got expertise, access to capital, experience. No, it's trust. And there's a gentleman here in Kansas City that sold his business to Berkshire. And he tells a story in his book about looking for a new home for his company. It was in the family for years, and he was trying to find someone to run it ethically, take care of his people, and take care of his clients. There's a lot of aggressive actors out there, and Berkshire Hathaway doesn't tend to have that reputation. They tend to be the stand-up gentleman. So he's in New York, and he just happens to be walking down the street as he's leaving a meeting with a Wall Street type firm, and he sees Warren in town catching a cab. And so he stops Warren and says, "Mr. Buffett, I have a company for sale. I think it'd be a great fit for you." Warren says to him, "Great. Here's my personal email and personal phone number. Feel free to send over the details, and we'll make you a fair offer." Right? The extent of that conversation was right there. The gentleman comes back to my hometown, Kansas City, and he spends the next month and a half still shopping with people he didn't quite feel comfortable with. The Wall Street types, the New York types, people that he thought were going to Shrek his company or take it in and hollow it out from the good people that have worked with him and his family for years. So he finally was sitting there thinking, like, I don't have a great solution. And he remembered that he talked to Warren, and he said, I'm going to pull my pants down effectively as a company and share all of my numbers. And he thought, I have a personal guarantee or personal statement from one of the most trusted men in business. What else do I need? So he calls him up, he sends over the numbers, and within a week, an offer was extended for just short of $1 billion. The company was sold, and that transaction closed, and it's been running fairly well ever since. Think about that transactional speed and volume. So what Berkshire had done is they called around and said, hey, do you know this guy? Is he a decent man? Is he honorable? Is he forthright? All the answers came back as yes. They said, all right, well, we're going to trust these numbers. He wants to do a fast sale. That's not a problem. They extended the offer. It was a fair offer. There's no negotiating with offers from Berkshire Hathaway. And at that point, they closed the deal. Now, take that mentality and that environment and then oppose it to the Wall Street types, where due diligence is forever long. No one trusts each other because everybody's trying to get around each other. It is, in my opinion, a dangerous place up there and not a place for gentlemen. When you come back to the Midwest, you see a little bit more of the old school environment where trust is key. And folks, if you're in business, I would really encourage you to take that to heart. When you go out and you talk to your clients, realize that you are talking to them and you are the representation of not just your company, but your company's future. That's why I think family-owned companies are so important and so valuable. So for you brokers out there who are working with their next generation or the previous generation, I want to say thank you. Realize that trust is the most important asset moving forward into this brave new world of artificial intelligence. The human component will remain, and I think will expand as even more important. With that, I know we're not talking about level funding, but in general, have fun out there. And if you need help with level funding, we are American Trust Administrators. We're here to help. Let us know how we can. All right. Bye-bye.